Hi, welcome back to the breakout session for the partner conference. My name is Kitsun, and today we have a very special guest with us. We have Jason here. Jason, you want to give yourself a quick introduction to the guys on the call?
Good day, everyone. We may have met in the conference in 2019 or maybe 2020. I couldn't really remember. My name is Jason. I run the sales engineering team for Avigilon across the region. So I'm dealing with the pre-sales side of things.
Sounds good. So welcome, Jason. This session, we're going to talk about Safety Reimagine. And Safety Reimagine, as we know it, you have seen the first presentation, Q4 last year. We have talked about some of the solutions. And really, if you look at the whole effort of this is bringing the different platforms together, right? The Avigilon solutions and the Motor Turbo solutions, bring it under one solution. Now, if we look at the whole aspect, the whole principle behind Safety Reimagine, this is really about safety, right? And we say Safety Reimagine, we are redefining what safety can look like with these two aspects of our portfolio coming together. And having a good safety, then we can bring on the next level of efficiency and productivity, because we say that if the people feel that they are safe and secure, right, then they can do their best, they can really give their best in terms of their day-to-day job, right? So that's something that we have to keep in mind. Now, we have seen in the past as well, there are vertical markets that we focus on. The first one being a school, airports, hospital, and stadium. Now, this year, we will be introducing two more new vertical markets.
New verticals.
Yes,
Nice.
Exactly. Because we see that these are the ones that are important to Asia. Number one is utilities, and the next one is manufacturing. And I'm sure in Asia, we have all this kind of facility in all the different countries. There's a lot of markets out there. And to be able to reach out to this vertical with this Safety Reimagine, I think it will help us to grow.
Yep, these two new verticals do have strong use cases for video applications as well.
Yep.
So it's going to tie in pretty nicely.
Sounds good. Okay, so the aspect of this, again, for those of you who may not be so familiar with Safety Reimagine, again, this is about instant communication, which we are all very familiar with the Motor Turbo systems. And the new aspect is that now that we have the video solution, it adds on the value, being able to track and identify a subject within the customer's environment, and to be able to link them up and then communicate across the radio system.
They say a picture speaks 1,000 words.
Exactly.
A video, way a lot more.
Oh, yeah. That's a new one, right? So add on the video motion, it brings the solution, the customers will be able to solve their problems way faster. And with the two-way communications, we are reaching out to everybody, bringing them into one discussional point, right? That's the whole idea. And the technology is all available today. It's just about unifying them, making them into one single solution. So again, if we look at the principle of use cases, there is this DACR, detect, analyze, communicate, and response. And in all the various vertical markets, the various use cases, we see this common flow, DACR, because the customer wants to know, they want to detect certain things, they want to analyze, and if to respond to it, they need to communicate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a common workflow we see in the video space as well. And now the ability to have video together with the radio piece, right? The communication and the visual now is going to be seamless part of the workflow. It's just going to accelerate the customer's ability to respond to a situation.
That's right. So bringing to this year is the radio alert feature. We have kind of talked about this last year briefly, but we just seen the presentation only, right? So it is about connecting the video alerts from a Avigilon system, handling this over to the radio system. So you get a voice alert, you get a text messages on the radio itself. And this is kind of like a very fast real time, so that we don't waste time. Maybe people doesn't miss the messages or human error, and then the alert wasn't being brought forth. So with this system, it's all automated, right? So again, we have already gotten ready the demo kits. So as you can see this picture, this is actually a demo kit that I have in my office. It consists of one pair of radio, the mobile radio and the portable radio, Avigilon H5A camera. So if you're wondering what does a Avigilon camera look like, if you get hold of this demo kit, you can have a feel, right? You know how is it built, the quality that is in it, right? And of course, we have a computer that runs the ACC7 with the radio alert feature built in. The next one is we're gonna have a cable that connects the computer with the mobile radio, so that the mobile radio will be the one that sends out the message to the rest of the top group. PoE injector is kind of like a device. If you look at the second picture on the bottom, the blue color box, right, is basically just a power supply, right, over Ethernet for the camera. It runs on the power over Ethernet.
Show the connection.
Yeah. Later we'll go into the next slide, right? So again, not forgetting the power supply for the mobile and the LAN cable. So okay, over here, these are all the connection. That's what Jason mentioned. The connection from the PC being the main hardware, the software resides in it, the ACC7. It connects to the camera through the LAN port. And then on the USB and 3.5, you have the Y cable that connects to the mobile. Over here, it only takes 3 simple steps, right? Of course, these are the high level. Number 1 is to install the ACC7. How difficult is it, or how easy is it?
A couple of clicks. Not too
Okay,
bad.
yeah. So it's just like installing any app, right, on your PC. And activating the camera, make sure that the IP address is set correctly. Not forgetting to set alert on the ACC. So this is where the fun part begins, right? You can set the different rules, you can set the different
Many
detection.
stuff.
Yeah, it's almost endless. Depends on your use case, depends on your requirement. You can go ahead and set it up. Number 2, program the radio. Make sure that they are in the same top group. They can talk to each other. And one important thing is the top group ID. Just stick it, it's the same. But the radio ID has to be different. Then we know which radio ID the message is supposed to send it out for. And of course, the third one, connect all of them together, right? And power up is ready to run. So again, reach out to us. I have this demo kit ready. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll arrange a time to walk through. In fact, we can also send you a video of how it works for those of us who probably don't have access to the offices or something, right? Because today, everybody's kind of working remotely.
Let the demo do the talking.
Exactly, right? So over here, I'm just going to take a quick pause to let Jason walk us through some of the video solutions, because this is something new to most of us in the radio world, right?
All right. The next couple of slides will talk through the components of the video side and then how it fits into the radio piece, and a quick overview of the data flow, how and where the triggering happens, right? So if we, if we look at the boxes, those that are highlighted in yellow, that is the video piece of the solution. So the video piece will comprise of 3 segments, right? First, the Avigilon cameras. They will be connected to the Avigilon ACC. ACC is the video management software that will manage, record, and be the piece that sends the alert through the radio alert software module that is sitting on top of the ACC box, right? And the ACC application will be installed onto a server, which is an Avigilon NVR. So the 3 boxes in the yellow highlights are the video components. And if necessary, the ability to integrate access control, right? Access control being the ones that you guys are all familiar with. The card access, you batch it to the reader, and then whether you are allowed or denied entry into a door, so that's access control. So Avigilon's access control manager can be integrated into Avigilon's VMS. Should a door forced event, someone forced open a door, it can trigger and send a radio alert to the mobile security patrol that is closest to that door, right? And then immediate response can take place. So these are the components of a security system.
So
video
now,
in yellow and access control in gray.
All the items in the yellow box, can that resides on the same computer or server?
That's possible.
Okay.
Except the camera, right? The camera is a separate
it's a hardware, yeah.
Yep. So this is the building blocks. So if we look at the detect portion of the workflow, where does the detection take place, right? It can happen at both sides, so to speak. Let me touch on the first. In the Avigilon cameras, there are built-in video analytics capability. You can define, your customer can define, our customers can define specific regions of interest with specific rules. For example, if someone loiters around this region for more than X number of seconds, I want to be alerted. Thereafter, the camera will alert the ACC. The ACC will send the alarm message, right? Loitering, Southgate, to the radio receiver. So the radio receiver will either receive a text or a text-to-voice message, and he can respond straight away. If that guard has a mobile device that's viewing video, now he can, while making his way to the area of interest, he can start visualizing to know exactly what's happening. That is a very powerful add-on to the existing workflow, because your customer's security detail is going into a situation well informed.
So it's like a pre-viewing of what's going to happen, right? You can see what's going on there before you actually arrive there.
Correct. If you need to call for backup, if you need to radio the command center and say, hey, I'm approaching, I need a secondary security detail and things like that. Right. The other part of the detection will come from watch lists. The system allows you to create watch lists of faces or watch lists of license plates. Say, for example, there was this vehicle, right, that has been parking illegally in your customer's premise, right? We do
Sounds
not
familiar, right?
yeah. Or we can detect the car park attendant coming, right? But we don't know exactly what's happening, but we want to be alerted to incidences like this. Say next time this vehicle license plate appears in the premise again, trigger and get the security detail to go investigate. So now the system is working on behalf of the security operator to be proactively watching the scenes, and the guard that is holding the radio handset will always be kept abreast of things that are happening in the property.
So imagine the moment they detect the license plate, the guy on the ground already kind of got the
They
notice,
know, right, what
this guy's
plate
coming.
number, yeah, exactly, right? So then we go to the other segment of the workflow, which is the analyze piece, right? One of the common questions that are always asked to the operator that's managing the video systems, if something happens in the property, the questions that the operator will always ask for is, what was that person wearing, right? How does he look like?
Yep.
And where did you see him? And when was the last time you saw him?
Yeah.
And based on this information, the operator is supposed to go to a property with 200-300 cameras and start searching. The fella told me it was like about 2 p.m. Then I start browsing 2 p.m. for the last 20 cameras around this premise. So that is very time consuming. So this is where the AI part from the Avigilon ACC comes in, called appearance search. We make it as intuitive for the human operator as possible. The operator will specify, I'm looking for a person. Then you specify the gender, male, female, right? You check male. The color of the attire at the top, you select black. The bottom, beige. So with these criteria that the operator keys in, the system goes into all the tons of recording, right? And then across your 200-300 cameras in the property, and then reveals everyone that looks like the description that the user key in, wearing a black top, wearing a beige bottom. So all the operator needs to do is just look at the scene and say, hey, this is the last known location this suspect appeared, communicate with the guard, and then the guard will go investigate based on the last known location. Alternatively, they could also find and trace when and where and what time did this perpetrator first set foot in the property, thereby allowing the security operations to fine-tune and enhance their security planning with this breach in mind. So this appearance search cuts short the amount of time required to react to an incident, and with the ability to communicate with the security patrol, it just shaves a lot of time to handle an incident.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, now the cameras is almost like a real security guy, right? Sitting there watching all
That's
the time.
your extended eye, right? The customer's extended eye.
Now, one of the questions that I have a lot on the camera is that can we use a non-Avigilon cameras? Because the customer just installed a few hundred new cameras, but they like this feature a lot. Then what is there to offer, right?
Good point. We do face that question a lot as well. I prepared the slide for that, right? So if we look at the components of a video system, that was the yellow highlight earlier. So it's made up of cameras, it's made up of the VMS, and it is made up of a server, which is the Avigilon NVR. So if we replace the Avigilon camera with the green box that you see over here on the left with other brand of cameras, what will work with radio alert if you use third-party brands? Maybe you may get basic motion detection, right? Meaning any sort of pixel motion, even if the light, the shadow, there's a shadow that is cast in the scene, it will trigger. Right? You may get this motion detection that will trigger and send a radio alert. But motion detection's triggering is far from ideal. Many false alerts.
Yeah.
And probably you may get a little bit of license plate stuff. However, we can't really guarantee much because we don't know the quality of the camera that is in place. We don't know how they size it. We don't know how they position it. So how well will the LPR, license plate recognition, work, right? So that should a blacklisted license plate appear, the operator will receive an alert. How well it works, we really can't tell, but you probably will have that two feature sets if you use third-party cameras. However, just to save a couple of dollars by not using Avigilon cameras, you forego the other AI-centric technologies that you see here. Appearance search, which we just heard in the previous slide.
The extra security guys, the extra eyes, right?
The speed.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The ability to respond in a speedily fashion. You will not be able to leverage on the latest AI technology for unusual activity detection, right? Where the system detects activities that are beyond your definition, or face watch list, focus of attention, or detection of no face mask. All these feature sets will not be available just because we want to save that couple of dollars by not using the Avigilon cameras. Granted, we have customers who ask that, but we also understand this could be the interim towards implementing, or as they upgrade or they refresh their technology, they can slowly add Avigilon cameras into the picture.
Correct. If you look at this list, really the real value, the interest, the value of Avigilon is really on all this AI, unusual detection motion, right? So all this thing is the one that is the key. And really, of course, best ideal, we want everything to be Avigilon, right? Then you have the full suite of solution, all the features are there. So hopefully that answers some of the common questions that we get a lot. Now, if we look at the next slide, so this is again bringing us to the whole idea of Safety Reimagine, being able to have the two different platforms joined together. One is the communications, the radio, and the other one is the video piece, as we say, right? The picture paints 1,000 words, right? And then
one more video.
Yeah, exactly. And the software piece is really for us to manage the incident. Now, coming this year, I want to introduce a new word to a lot of us here. It is called orchestrate. If you look at the centerpiece here, the orchestrate is really the next level of piecing all these solutions together. What we are trying to do here is a real-time, rule-based decision-making on a workflow format. Lost me over there?
No, I'm following.
Okay, so here is to give you a better idea, right? So what we have here is a dashboard where we have all the Avigilon alerts that is set up in the system being pulled up on this dashboard. We have the Motor Turbo settings, the talk group, the radio IDs, all this information pulled up on this dashboard again. And of course, the end user or the partners as well, the system integrator can then piece together what kind of workflow we are looking for.
Sounds complicated.
Okay, no. The whole idea is really to make it visual, as simple as possible. Now, what we can do is, on the box, pull out the Avigilon signal, example, motion detection, right?
Drag and drop.
Yeah, you drag and drop. And then when you see this box, what is your action? Do you want to communicate to top group number 5? Then you pull top group number 5, pull it in, and then you match it, and then draw the line together, match them up.
Nice. So it's like if-else programming by implementing a drag and drop.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a very visual flow. And from here, we can then come up with more complicated workflow. Example, if we see certain things now, not only to radio alert, but we want to activate another camera, for example. So these are all very doable at the end user's level. And all these bring us again to the whole aspect of integrated workflow, automated, so we don't rely on human, and sometimes there may be human error or there's delay, there's some slowness in response. All this is real time. And of course, these are self-service from a portal, which is something that the end user then don't have to call up and wait for people to come in, configure. It wastes another few days there, right? So everything can be done there and there on a cloud-based kind of software, right, a portal. So with all this in place, we can then talk about the next level of benefits. Innovation, right? Now we can think of all the new use cases that can be done. The bottlenecks, we can now find out what exactly is stopping a workflow. We can then boost the productivity, increase the focus. Transparency is always there because it's not dependent on human. It's all automated, and the system captures everything. And this ultimately reduces the cost. So with all those in mind, we want to talk about the use case. This will be the last piece of segment where we talk about example, a door breach, right, where a secure door is breached. Somebody tried to pick the lock. Now, straight away, a visual camera, very good in this detection. unusual activity, right?
Or the access control system will detect, the door is being breached.
Exactly, right? And then suddenly you can see this on your screen, what's going on, who is there, and the system will communicate with the radio users, the security guys in particular, and then they can respond to it. Now, the other part is we can also add on to the workflow to say that, hey, why don't we activate another camera from a different angle and to see, and perhaps we can see where they go as well, right?
Absolutely. The possibilities are quite wide, quite varied.
Exactly. So the whole idea of Safety Imagine is for us to be brought up to this capability, right? The technological enhancement. And from there, it's really up to us to imagine and implement. So with that, I think we have come to the end of our section. So thanks, Jason, for joining us today, for
Gladly.
spending your time sharing about Avigilon.
Happy to be here.
All right, see you guys again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye for now.